thanks and praise, all you fabulous distants. Welcome back to the Stick Distant Shared Artistic Expression. I have a great amount of information I care to data dump. This will be very advanced and very wide in scope, as I do believe I have put my finger on the nature of the Tao-made ritual that is taking place in the zeitgeist over the past week, essentially. And I want to take people back through time regarding a great many of the culture creators and the grand patriarch of synchronicity, Carl Jung. Some aspects of his biography have been immortalized in the Merovingian Marvel Avengers narrative. Carl Jung has always been the hanged man, the youngest Avenger of Philemon, Agent 488, has always been the hanged man, Peter Parkour. The Saint Peter Parkour. I believe Saint Peter was hung on an upside-down cross, which a lot of people are like, oh, blasphemy. The upside-down cross is the cross of Bon Jesus dos Navegantes. It is the sailor's cross, and it signifies the Grus. It is signified by the Grus constellation. The northern cross is Cygnus, and the unspoken, quiet reflection on the water is the upside-down cross of the Grus constellation, which is constellation number 45. It's constellation number 45 on the IAU. And its width, its size, its area size is 365. It's the only constellation with a real sacred geometry to its area. But let me show you the northern cross. Oh, it's cut in half. Cygnus is cut in half. It is the swan. It is sometimes called the northern cross. Here, you can see it poking out through the dividing line. So that is the northern cross, but it's the Bon Jesus dos Navegantes, is the sweet Jesus of the sailors, who is in Rio de Janeiro. It is the statue over the hillside overlooking the entire bay. And that is the location where Neptune tries to sink Odysseus's boat because he has more gold than all the spoils of Troy. And so he is landing at the Rio de Janeiro. He's got rivers of money, more gold than all the spoils of Troy. But Bon Jesus dos Navegantes is up on the mountainside, and he's the sweet Jesus of the sailors, and he's in a very sacred position with his hands out in an embrace, not on a cross. He's actually hugging the earth. And his reflection is inverted onto the water. And so an upside-down cross is actually signifying the Grus constellation, but it is also signifying a ritual that they do in Brazil where they put a statue of Bon Jesus dos Navegantes on a boat in the north, and they set the boat afloat all by itself, and the natural currents take it on a natural course on a pilgrimage on the water, and it progresses further and further south. And so while the Cygnus swan is the northern cross that you can see, the upside down cross is the reflection of that character on the waters below. So all of that is signified in inverted crucifix. So a lot of people want to make it evil and nefarious, and that's fine, because if you think about it, Christians are hailing Zeus, and technically the iconographic antipode of Zeus is Neptune in the water. So there is some iconoclasm that is legitimate and consistent through the pantheon. So while everybody is all about the Cygnus Swan up standing upright, it kind of is consistent to project shadow on the upside down cross because it's the reflection in the water that is very Neptunian. And in my previous arrangement, I had the number 12 hangman card reduces to the number 3, and it was here in the number 3 spot. Um, However, I've done some rearranging based on some new systems that I'm developing around the Enneagram, or the endocrine, the Indo-Nietzschean system. So I've moved a lot of these numbers. I've shuffled around for my own reasoning, um, because of the prime station constellations. I'm doing some experimentation on that. So now I have moved the Death card, which is Hercules. It's in the exact shape of Hercules, and the Priestess card, 4 and 2. The Symposium equals 42, Enneagram equals 42. 42 is the answer to the universe and everything. So I want to tell some stories that will fortify the context of where my thoughts are around these rituals happening over this past week. One of which is John D. Rockefeller sent his wife, Edith, to Carl Jung because she had a case of chronic hiccups. Rick Simakis was in the 3 position, and he de-seated. He switches the order of speaking and puts Aristophanes down in the number 4 because Aristophanes has the hiccups, and he tells him, hold your breath, endorphins, and he tells him, tickle your nose with a feather or drink water. Yes, and he cures him. He gives him a prescription to cure him. All correspondent to the number 3 was the first doctor. One doctor, one DR is flim flam of the word drone. Also, so Edith goes to Carl Jung, and he cures her hiccups, but Edith becomes the funding interest who pays to translate Carl Jung into English. And so because of Edith Rockefeller's contribution to Carl Jung, she becomes the spectacles through which we see the Carl Jung worldview. She is the translator, essentially. So, with all of that in mind, I would encourage people to go see or rewatch Spider-Man Far From Home, where he goes to France and on a field trip, and he has a battle with Mysterio. And Mysterio is probably one of the corniest of all the Spider-Man characters, the lamest of all the Spider-Man characters. And sure enough, he's duking it out with Mysterio and his drone army. And they are fighting over a pair of spectacles that were passed down from Iron Man to Peter Parker. And the name of the spectacles are Edith. Stands for Even Dead, I'm the Hero. And those spectacles get handed over. Peter Parker, he just gives them to Mysterio, and Mysterio's putting the charm on him. Mysterio is Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko has a famous line where he's walking with his love interest, and she says, Donnie Darko, what kind of name is that? It sounds like some kind of superhero. And he's like, what makes you say it's not? What makes you think I'm not a superhero? Very fascinating. And, the Donnie Darko bunny is the White Rabbit Trail right now. And we are down in Sagittarius, and 180 degrees in opposition to where we are on the zodiac is where the Lepus constellation is, the bunny rabbit, up in Gemini. Just underneath both of the Canis Major Minor and Orion is the Lepus bunny rabbit. And the Lepus bunny rabbit it marks Donald Trump's birthday, and it marks JFK's birthday. And I could go on and on with some of the birthday magics, but we should just keep in mind that while everybody says follow the rabbit, all the rabbit trails of it, both Trump and JFK are Gemini essentially in their birthday. So they land squarely on the bunny rabbit. All right, going back through Harvey and Jimmy Stewart and the white rabbit, the imaginary white rabbit of Jimmy Stewart that became the black rabbit of Donnie Darko. And now we have Mysterio rocking this goofy outfit. I want to put a certain character on everyone's radar. He who shall not be named. In the film, Peter Parker has this term. It's this weird, lame joke that gets sublimated very potently. He's talking about his Peter Tingle. Come on, Peter Tingle, do your work. You know, it's very, very lame, very innuendo rich. And I'm just going to flash an image of what I think the Mysterio costume is hailing to in the iconography. But it's so obvious with all those drones creating an illusion and people running around in the scurrying masses are literally saying, I don't think it's real. It's not real. Of course it's real. They're fighting over, is it real? They're fighting over, is it real or not? All right. All of this is manifesting in the zeitgeist over the last week. And I just got to tell everybody, December 15th they're they're tilling the soil. They're preparing the terra preta, the interpretive value of that time of year as the sun is passing over Ophiuchus, Lyra, in the Ara Altair constellation, in the sun, in the calendar, the zodiac. This is going to be the exact spot where the lunar standstill will take place on 322. On 322, we will, when the sun is here, or when the morning sun is here on 322, over the next day, we will see a south node lunar standstill. And this is the jam, y'all. This is the jam. This is the JZX. This is the Jesus. This is 18.6 cycle. And they are hitting this note with all the trauma they can throw at it. So I just want people to know that there will be vast threads stringing back to these events over the past week because December 15th is a very crucial anode to the cathode that is going to be the lunar standstill of 2025. 15 squared. That's a devil card right there. 15 is the devil card. 15th prime is 47. This is the 47th president. 47 is the number for silver. All kinds of significance is popping up. Also, the devil card in my territories map is New Orleans. It's totally New Orleans where the Super Bowl is going to take place over the next couple months. So yeah, a lot of hanging chads of significance that will come into context. And I think I'm lucky to actually see ahead that this is all drumming on the lunar standstill pressure point of the zeitgeist. All right, and I want to say one more thing, just a passing thought. Thinking about acausal synchronicities, you know, when Jung named synchronicity an acausal coincidence or an acausal meaningful event. I just want everybody to take note when they mention acausal. They are pointing at the castration of the efficient and the final cause from Aristotle. And the efficient and final cause that Aristotle talks about, those were removed from our worldview as far back as Sir Francis Bacon. And by taking out the efficient and the final cause and letting the rest of science operate without those two causes, it was a powerful castration, and that causes um, the anonymity, the clean hands of equity, that there's a veil behind um, what the purpose and the true agenda uh, puppet string pullers, they are operating behind the final and the effective cause. And we're in a strange place in time right now where people are developing their own meaning, their own usefulness, their own um, um, worldviews. And that is to say that it is a bold mentality to uh, to foster and grow your own uh, prosthetic fulfillment of what the final and efficient cause in your life is. And part of that has a great amount to do with reassessing the shape of the realm and our place in the universe. All of these things are hiding behind the veil of what Francis Bacon cut away when he removed the final and effective, efficient cause. So, and also for people to even display their own effective and final cause is instantly generates envy and resentment from other people who never even thought about the fact that they take for granted the effective and final cause. So the acausal, meaningful event that people call the synchronicity. Um, uh, I want to point out zinc spark. The zinc spark is the fertilization point. The zinc chrone nicety. And that is to say that, there is a future generation that will abandon the date of passing through the port of entry and actually embrace the zinc spark. Also, synchronicity has a strange twilight whisper of state of emergency. It is the zinc spark that is the state of your emergence into the sea of time. So I just wanted to put all of these fascinating revelations because I believe Carl Jung wanted us to find the zinc spark. His initials with a little Greek twist, C, G, J. If you turn that G into a Z, its Greek value, it becomes syzygy. Syzygy. And syzygy is what happens during an eclipse when the planets line up and there's a ray that lines up perfectly, pointing in a perfect line. That is syzygy. And I think that something really the worlds align when the zinc spark happened. And when the worlds align, there's a syzygy between the folds of reality, and soul is able to slip through. So CGJ and CZG and syzygy are all very powerful symbols. But I got to say, everything that Carl Jung did has been picked up and mishandled, misappropriated by Alan Dulles, who gave him that number, who put a number on him, another identity to cast doubt, Agent 488. All right, Edith, I've moved the death card to the Epsilon position, and I am moving the number 2 priestess card into the Epsilon position. And when I do this, the 42 of the answer of the universe and everything, I'm looking at the ritual of, the reenacted ritual of John Lennon getting shot on the Shandor building when that hitman blasted the CEO exec at the front doorstep of that building. And some witness scurries off, runs off in fear, runs off into the camera. And so a lot of people associate with, I'd be getting the hell out of there too. There's no hero here. There's no hero here. The only hero must be the guy who was doing the vigilante justice. So one doctor gets capped, and everybody goes onto their social media to root him on and display their own desire for retribution. You know, people, a lot of people show their cards, and their darkest nature comes out, and then they get shadow projected onto them for doing so. Um, but I want to talk about this is the Hercules constellation. It always has been. Hercules is the fifth constellation by size on the IAU. And when I look closely at the shape of the Hercules constellation, by the way, big love to my buddy Kyle from Tippecanoe Herbs, who gave me all these constellation cards a while back. I totally needed that, buddy. So yeah, I'm using the constellation cards so I can actually see both the sigil of the constellation and its actual shape. And when I'll bring a graphic forward. But when I look at the actual shape of Hercules, this is the shape of the drones that are buzzing everybody. The ritualistic value is profound. It is super profound. But um, so the Jersey Devil has drones buzzing through the zeitgeist that are in the shape of the hero constellation, one of the hero constellations. I want to say this. Uh, Hercules is the hero for the fall time of year, and Orion is the hero of the spring. So keep that in mind. I'm not always going to specify. When I say the hero, I need to be careful because there are multiple heroes around the zodiac. But this is the hero of the fall. So he pops a cap in the High Priestess card. The guy was totally dressed in that color blue, and shoots him in the back. This card is the Kamala Harris card. This is camel toe. She's got the camel. She's got the toes, the camel right by her toes. You know, people think that they were getting a cheap shot on Kamala Harris. No, you were reinforcing her mantle. This is her card. It always has been. So that dude wearing this exact color blue, getting popped in the back, is just ritualizing the um, Hercules constellation. And its relationship to Hera. Hercules was the son of Hera, but Zeus had to sneak Hercules in while Hera was sleeping so he could suckle on her breast to get the divine family legacy, the family estate, the full estate of the family. This is so profound because right above endorphins, right up here is the oxytocin. And so a long time ago, many weaves back, I found the classical artistic depiction of Zeus swooping in to feed Hercules off of Hera while she's sleeping. And she's like waking up with a baby, an unwelcome baby on her breast. And in the negative space is the shape of the aura altair. In the negative space, there are many times this altar is in the negative space of classic paintings, and it's a alteration of events. Hercules becomes altered. He's deified now because he suckles on her breast. I'm going to recap on my time off on the stories of Hercules and his struggles. I think a great amount of what I'm seeing going on right around the endocrine system has a lot of value in the struggles of Hercules. Now that I have a new lens, I'm going to comb through that mofo very thoroughly. So, one thing that is kind of nefarious about making, I shouldn't say it that way. I shouldn't say it exactly that way. It's the fastest way to say it. But the inconvenient fact that the hero of the fall has a very distinct likeness to the drones is utterly profound to me. Utterly profound. Because a lot of people get in a tizzy about these drones. What are they? What's going on? Oh, it must be evil. It must be bad. And everybody's pulling their hair out. And everybody's making a martyr of themselves when they become the witness. The Greek word martyr means witness. They martyr themselves when they record the drones. And so it's a craving for the 15 minutes of fame. If you can be one of the people who were part of history to capture these heroes flying around in the sky. And then, after everybody is trying to justify it with a million theories, then they come out. This is basically the ideology of it's better to apologize than ask permission. And so while everybody's freaked out about what they are, it's after the transgression has already set in and people are conditioned to just accept it as commonplace. Then they come out with some excuse or self-soothing that is, oh, they must be sniffing for nukes. Oh, good. They're helping us. Oh, it's so good that they're helping us. Oh, well, at least they don't have to apologize. At least they don't even have to apologize. Now you say thank you for lying to me. This is how they entrain people to see what they expect, what they've been conditioned to witness. All right, I think those are all the things that I wanted to say. Um, Edith, even dead, I'm the hero. That is so profound. I've also, in my marvelous demystifying, I have always seen Iron Man as John D. Rockefeller. Today he might be somebody else. Maybe he might be the chumpster, because he gets martyred in the end game. And sure enough, when he dies, his ear is blown off. His whole ear is cooked when he martyrs himself. So yeah, the film Endgame seemed to be presaging that Chumpster was going to get blasted, but he dodged. But he dodged the bullet, right? All right. Yep, those are all the things. I think it's quite fascinating that the vigilante justice happens when one doctor gets blasted, and then there's a vigilance for drones. Vigilante, one doctor, vigilance for drones. And they told everybody that the drones need to be shot. And it was just a little one-to-one flip to saying we should be taking out CEO execs. I think we all know better. Nope, I'm not done. Ghostbusters, right? Ghostbust the stars. As Rachel Maddow of the Tao Made Ritual is going through a collapse, they are dropping emotional anchors in the zeitgeist, and there is a huge buzz about ghost guns. These Ghostbusters, they could hardly control their guns, and the last thing they want to do is cross the streams. The crossing of the streams in my read signifies the dissolving of private and public. They are already paving the presumption that there is no more private and public anymore. That is the crossing of the streams, and all of your molecules are going to explode in an instant. The ghost busted stars. Let me just kind of put that into context. That Goes of the Gozerian of Rachel Maddow was born, promulgated at that tower that is the Shandor building, that is a one-to-one correspondence to the Dakota building where John Lennon got capped. So as Rachel Dow Made Ritual is going through her collapse, they reenact the John Lennon ritual. And John Lennon loved the number 9. I'm pretty sure he was dialed to the Enneagram big time. He had a huge thing for the number 9. So, all right. Yeah, I wanted to put that in context too, that when I say this is a John Lennon ritual, people are like, what? I don't get it. Yeah, you better get it. You better catch on, because the Shandor building from the Ghostbusters with their ghost guns that they couldn't control, their wiggly squiggly ghost guns that were highly inaccurate. They had a lot of doubt in their marksmanship. They are reanimating the Ghostbusters to a major degree. And all the ghosts are flitting around the city, and people are going crazy, just like the drones, and just like Far From Home episode with that very certain character, Mr. Mysterio, and his army of drones. All right, folks, I'm going to be on with Chance tonight. Hopefully, I might have to edit this and put it out at the end of the evening, so I might be telling people something they already know. But if you missed us on the Vibrant, we're going to have the Family Fungi tribe come together. We're going to talk about the Divine Mother, and I hope everybody comes and checks that out. And I hope everyone is having a lovely holiday. And also, I hope a great amount of this makes sense. They want to valorize these drones. They want these drones to be seen as a Hercules hero. And it's engaging the death drive, Freudian death drive, because a lot of people don't anticipate their health care to be what was promised. Your health care and your entitlements. The entitlements are the bedrock of Plato's Republic. It's all in there. The entitlements is what Socrates was asking for his punishment. They said, "Oh yeah, we're pretty sure you're guilty. Now you get to guess. You get to take a choice of what you want to be punished with." He's like, "Okay, I want to be punished with all the entitlements of the state." And then even more of them voted to kill him, to take the hemlock. Civic mandated suicide by inept poisoners. Read the details, y'all. The poisoner that killed Socrates was inept. He was young. He was not capable. Just like the Nuremberg Code. Read the Nuremberg Code. Study Socrates taking the hemlock and the civic decree for suicide. It is so consistent. It is so consistent that he had an inept poisoner. And he told the poisoner, the poisoner says, you might have to not talk too much, and you have to walk around so that the poison goes down through your legs. And Socrates is like, "Fool, you better bring twice as much poison. Just give me twice as much poison. Don't make me walk around and do a bunch of stupid shit. Just give me the double dose. Get it right the first time." All right, y'all. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. But yeah, the entitlements are the purple garment of the Christ that they put on him as a mockery to make him a king, to turn it into a tragedy. But for him, it was not a tragedy. That was a mockery. To put the entitlements of the purple garment on him, that was mockery, because he did not perceive himself as under civic decree. Breakaway civilization time, y'all. It's breakaway civilization time. Fuck those entitlements. Fuck those entitlements. Just eat right, live right, stay strong, stay bold. Much love.